Hi Ria, how are you today?
Hi, Nanika. I'm doing good. How are you? I'm
I'm
excited
doing.
to be here
Oh, you're in India or in the
in India
podcast?
and at NTX.
Amazing. Yeah, I am doing good actually. Yeah, the days have been very exciting, so
Mhm.
that's good. So tell us a little about yourself.
My name is Ria. I'm the co-founder and COO of Neuphony, India's first brain wearable, the smartwatch for your brain. We have a wearable neurofeedback product which we have targeted toward the wellness domain, which includes focus, relaxation, meditation techniques, and different ways to kind of help people achieve that inner calm and peace. Not only that, we actually want to create a platform for any software company to come and build their own application above us. If you are into brain and cognitive health, you can use Neuphony and its SDK to capture data and do research on neuroscience, moods, psychology, psychotherapy, gaming, VR, anything, and we are up for it.
Amazing. So that was that's always a delight to listen to. So you and your co-founder, so the Pankhtech is the company. So how do you both distribute the responsibilities amongst yourselves?
So we have a very, this kind of approach with regards to work. We trust each other and we have a very clear division with regards to tech and non-tech. So
Mm-hmm.
everything when it comes to tech related, it would be the hardware, it could be the mechanical design, the electronics design, or the software. The decision maker is Bhavya, because
Okay.
he's fully thorough with that aspect of it. And when it comes to anything other than non-tech, which comes about hiring, marketing, business development, fundraising, legal, all of that comes under my domain.
Okay. So up until recently, you were also working full time while
Yes.
handling the responsibilities at Pankhtech. How did you manage both, and how did you balance both?
It was crazy. Okay, it wasn't a joke. It now I actually like for the past I think few days, only 9 days, I am doing only one job, which is very new for me, and it feels very light. It feels very I come to office, I do work, and I'm back. Earlier, I had to manage. I liked doing that very frankly
Mm-hmm.
until a certain point,
Mm-hmm.
but there were like sometimes it used to just become crazy because deadlines at both the work would come
Mm-hmm.
at a particular point of time and you need to do it. Someone is paying you to do it, and someone is where the other place is where your heart lies, you
Yeah.
know. So it's always that inner conflict, and there I was always stuck. And now I am more than pleasantly surprisingly happy to do only one job.
That's good to hear, actually. So, how did you de-stress back then, and how has that de-stressing changed now?
Okay. So, how I used to de stress back then, I used to just listen to my body. Working for Neuphony has always been like de stressing, very frankly. I'm not at that stage where Neuphony is stressing me. I'm not. There are only few days and few moments where I feel a little bit of panic, but it's just few moments, and somehow something good will happen, and then I'll cheer up. So Neuphony never was stressful. I always, for the past 1 year, was like, how and what can I do to do this full time?
Okay.
I was
Mm-hmm.
I was creating and carving my path to be full time at Newfany. So this is what I wanted to do, and I'm doing. So de-stressing then from both the jobs was Newfany, because it was calm, it was control. I like that. It was letting go also at the same time of struggles and challenges and slow growth as a startup. Now how I de-stress is uh, now I don't feel stressed since I'm doing this full time. I don't feel stressed, very frankly. But I also do I like setting. So we've moved to India recently full time, so that's new. I'm in India after 7 years.
Mhm.
So getting used to the traffic, the noise, and the constant talking and shouting neighbors and all that. So getting used to that. So maybe that's what is causing stress, and then coming to work is the de-stress.
Oh, wow. I can relate with you. Yes, that is something that you will witness here. I think, and you grow to love it also to certain extent.
Yes, actually. So I don't have to cook, I don't have to clean, and that's like I'm liking that. I can get used to that. Let me put it like that.
Amazing, amazing. So, yeah, that's good to hear actually. Yeah, it's good to have you in India too and see the growth from here. I think, yeah, go ahead.
So it's actually coming back to India is good. Since when we've taken the decision to come back, good things are happening for Neuphony. So
Amazing.
I feel constantly validated that it was a good decision that we came back.
Good, good, amazing, amazing. That's good to hear. The other thing that I keep wondering about, and something that I always try to find an answer to, is I think the idea is one of the biggest components of a startup, but the other biggest component is your co founder. And making the right decision there is, I think, the most important and biggest decision that you will be reminded of every day. So, and you were
Correct.
lucky to find a co-founder in a very, very close friend. But yeah, I think that's not
And
what
a
happens
husband.
with yeah, in a husband. But how would you suggest someone? What qualities should someone look out for in a co-founder? Yeah.
Okay. Mm, definitely, I'm lucky. Trust me, we tried to find co-founders. Even we were only two, we wanted a third one, and it was challenging. It was so challenging, I can't even tell you. Freshers are too young, some people are too experienced, so they don't want this crazy lifestyle of a startup. Some people are more money oriented, some people want
Yes.
control and power. You have nothing in a startup when you start.
Yeah.
All you are hooked is to a passion,
Yes.
just passion. And that is very difficult to find, like very, very
Yes.
difficult. And saying that, you always have to understand why this person would want to do that. Like now when we hire executive level people, we always make sure they have startup experience, because uh, you come and expect a certain salary, but then you expect comfort, you expect 9 to 5 job, you expect weekends to be
Yes.
fun, you expect system and discipline. All of that is not there in a startup. You have to create it. You have to be a leader, but you don't have to be a leader that you are up here. You have to be a leader doing the basic work as well. So
Yes.
these are few things that you really, really have to kind of check, and you have to make sure that the person has. Tell them the worst thing about a startup. Tell them that you failed. Tell them that like in a relationship, you tell the worst thing in the beginning, so that if they want to leave, they leave at the day one. Don't hide the worst part of it. Tell them. So now I hire people telling that this is scary, this is not there, this is not there, this is not there, and then they're like, we still want to be there, we want to build that, and that's what you want to look.
Noted. But what would you suggest for people who are just starting up? For example, you discussed that you are hiring, but what if you are alone and you have an idea and you want another person because of some technical or some other skills, and you're looking for that person? What would you suggest that someone should do then?
First is a self-assessment. You need to know what you're good at. Like,
Hmm.
I'm an engineer, I have done BTech, I've done MSc, but I can't deal with deadlines. I can't work on the very last day. If my product has to be shipped tomorrow, I want the product to be ready 2 days, sitting at the desk. I can't work technically 2 days, the last 2 days. So I know that I'm not good working at last minute pressure. Like,
Mhm.
I'm good with communication, I'm good in compassion, organization, I have a lot of empathy towards my customers, I want to bring a change. Since I know all of this, then I do come out as an operations marketing. I like, my brain is very messy and haphazard, I'm very hyperactive. Being hyperactive means I can do a good operating job, I can take care of 10 different departments, accounting, financing, marketing, business development, clients, investor, all in a day. Like, I can toggle between my
Mhm.
thoughts, and that's good to know, because my co-founder is a person who's 100% focused. If he works on hardware one day in the morning, then he works on software in the evening. He can't do hardware software. So that's how you actually find out. And imagine an operative job. So
Mhm.
when I see his work, I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this, I'm getting uh, stressed. And when
Mhm.
he thinks he sees my work, he's like, I'm getting stressed. So it should be like this.
Mhm. Okay. I see. So you have to find someone who complements your its skills and
100%.
is 100%
Co-founder,
passionate about the product and
finding
not
a
there for the
co-founder
wrong
is like
reasons.
finding your marriage partner. Some
Exactly.
people are lucky, they find both in one person.
Exactly. You're too lucky. It just I hope we all get that luck. Get some of it at
Yes.
least. Yes.
Yes, and actually this is very trending nowadays. Like, at least in Europe, this was a concern, but in India, this is actually a trend. So couple entrepreneurs is a very common thing.
Yeah, it is coming up quite a bit. It's good to hear that. It's good to hear. Good to hear that. So the other thing that I often ask people is that when you are a new startup, or in fact even if you are an old startup, there are conflicts all the time between
This,
co-founders, between executive level people. How do you resolve conflict? What's the
and
best
this is the
way
negative
to do?
part of having your co-founder as your husband.
Yes.
This is the negative part, because negative part, yes, but if there is enough understanding, then it's okay, then you can deal with. And how do you deal with it is taking ownership. So as I said, this is my role and I'm the best judge. He has to trust me and I have to trust him. So like for me, timelines are pretty adamant. So I'm going to say ki, yeah, this has to be delivered now, independent, irrespective of quality. And he'll be like, no, I'm going to take another month, but I'm not going to deliver.
Mhm.
So then his point, because it's about tech, his point holds true. Now with regards to investors, valuation and everything, somebody will say and say 20, some will come and say 15. I have to go with my gut, because I'm the one talking to my investors. I know what my company can be of worth. I cannot say, oh, it's 100 crores and just sit right now.
Mhm.
So you have to trust the other person that he or she knows what they are doing, and they'll take the right decision for the company. Because I am nothing, he is nothing, everything is the company is the utmost priority, not the
Cool.
founders.
Right. Okay. That's good to hear. And that's always very hard uh, tip to implement. I'm
Reality.
sure. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
hard. Yes, that is the case even in a small project. I can only imagine how it would be in a startup.
Exactly, it's like a university project. One
Yes.
person will be doing the job, fourth person will be taking advantage of that as a startup will never work. As long as you have few people doing the project equally nicely, okay, I'm going to do first 3 chapters, you do the next 3 chapters, that's how it's going to work. Planning is very important.
Yeah, that's definitely there. Neuphony was named by your story as one of the top 50 disruptive startups in India this year, last year, the Tech 50. And I read something very, like, it stood out to me that 50% of the startups change their plan or business model after they start. Why do you think that this trend is catching up? Is it because that due to the recent hype of startups, people get into it before doing all the due diligence and then later realize that there's a problem, or is that not the only sole reason?
It's not the case. It's
Okay.
because startups are more agile. Agile in the sense that they are
Mhm.
more adaptive. They want to change more often. So I'm not going to wait for 5 years and see if this works or not and then change my strategy. I'm going to change my strategy like this. I'm going to go talk to 15, 20 people, see what's going to work, come and implement, see if it works on masses, and then change again. So this is not a bad thing, but this is a good thing. It's not because people are coming on it too early. No, people, if they come on it too early without thinking. So in India, that's the case. In India, people do come into the startup culture too early without
Okay.
doing much R&D, and that is, I agree, wrong. But in Germany, where we started, people take too much time. So in
Okay.
India, people will incorporate a company and start sales in 1 year, and there they'll do in 5 years. So we took our own spots, sweet time to kind of come out into the market, develop the product. We went slow and steady. And I feel either ways, it's good to change strategies until and unless you find it. It's
Mhm.
like you don't fall in love with the first guy you see until unless you really fall in love with that. So you try to look for your partner until and unless it hits. So it's like that.
Mhm.
You find the strategy, you make tweaks and changes until and unless you find the one that works for your product and your market.
Right. You compared the Indian startup culture with the culture in Germany. Can you elaborate more how it was different there than it is different now, and what all is different? What did you love there, and what do you like here?
It's very different. It's very different. So, okay, Germany is a place currently where software is booming, and India
Mm-hmm.
is a place where today hardware is booming.
Okay.
India has been in the software domain since very long. India is much ahead when it comes to software startups from Germany. But India focuses more on time. भाई एक साल में सेल्स कर रहे हैं. Germany
Okay.
focuses more on quality and innovation. In India, anything and everything will work. Not work, but will come out. In
Okay.
Germany, people work, do thorough R&D, try to look for USPs. Here, people will be like, USP? No, I want to find a product. I have something, सब लोग खरीद रहे हैं, मेरा भी खरीद लेंगे.
Right.
I've seen
Okay.
that. I've seen that in Shark Tank. I think one of the startups actually said that हमें USP की जरूरत नहीं है. So this is a very big difference basically in both the strategies. There people are very pessimistic. Here people are very optimistic. कि अरे हो जाएगा, अरे कर लेंगे. वहां
हम भी
लोग
बना
जब
लेंगे.
तक हम भी बना लेंगे. वहां जब तक लोग मार्केट टेस्टिंग नहीं कर लेते, पूरा वैलिडेशन, पब्लिकेशंस नहीं कर लेते, पेटेंट नहीं फाइल कर लेते, तब तक प्रोडक्ट बेचेंगे ही नहीं.
Right. Right.
वहां ग्रांट्स बहुत मिलते हैं, तो बड़े अच्छे ग्रांट्स मिलते हैं, यू कैन सर्वाइव फॉर इयर्स.
True. Okay. I see. So you're saying that in India, first of all, the market is not as loyal and they would just shift from one
Yes,
product to the other based on maybe slight price,
100%.
lowered prices or so, which is true. I have observed this, not in just startups, I think all companies and any product, which is right. And you also said that hardware in India is booming more right now.
Yes.
Why so
Hardware
sudden?
based startups, medtech startups. So like we were selected for this Dubai Expo last week. We
Mhm.
were there,
Yes.
and it was
Congratulations.
amazing. Thank you so much. It was amazing. So there were these hardware startups with regards to smartwatch, body scanners, and
Mhm.
different vitals in the domain of healthcare, and it's amazing. Like robotics, there are there's Skull from Hive Makers in Chennai. Amazing. People are looking for portable smart IoT embedded devices. It's amazing. There in Germany, people are scared of hardware as startups.
Why?
There we are have it's difficult, it's challenging. Their software is something like their machine learning, artificial intelligence algorithms are great. They are
Okay.
People are really working upon it. Here people are doing work, but there it's more R&D and innovation driven,
Okay.
a
I
lot more.
see. Mhm.
I feel here India has done a lot of work in software, like amazing work.
Mhm.
Now it's time for India to kind of get into this manufacturing and hardware. Like there are a lot of government plans also available for that.
Okay, so you're saying that the government plans and the a little more optimistic mindset of the
Market.
startups
See, boats,
is
noise.
boosting the hardware
They're
sector.
definitely they are also boosting, and the market also requires now.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. So the your company has been so far bootstrapped with your own savings and your co-founder's savings
Only
and your
until September
families.
last year.
Yes,
Only until
and
September last.
yes, and you recently raised your seed funding, and a portion of it was through community funding. In fact, you almost reached three times your goal,
Yeah.
which for which again congratulations.
Thank you so
It's
much.
it's an interesting concept. I had not seen a startup go for a community funding that a startup at least I was aware of or following closely. So why did you go for community funding?
Okay. To be honest, it was for
Yes.
market.
Okay. Can you
It was
elaborate?
not for, yes. To be honest, it was for marketing. It was for brand awareness. It was for telling
Mm-hmm.
people out there that, see, this is what it is. This is what it
Okay.
works, to see if people would want to put their money on a hardware or not. In India, we do have customers. That's not a problem. We have researchers, but I'm talking about the end consumers, the youth, people like you. Would you be interested in kind of putting your money, if you want to put your money in a startup like this, imagine, you would definitely want to buy it. So it was a marketing strategy that we went
Okay.
for it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
also risky, very frankly. So I'm not saying everybody should go for it. It's risky because imagine if there was 30% funding, it
Mm-hmm.
would be demotivating. And then it would be like, अरे यार कोई पैसा नहीं लगा रहा है, 10,000 तो तुम्हारा 50,000 का प्रोडक्ट क्या खरीदेंगे.
Right.
you know Everything worked. Our strategy, our team, our founders, where we are, our validation studies, everything worked out because of the stage we are in and what we are doing, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we did 3 times, was just a bonus, just a validation that we are there and we are here to create an impact. It will take time, but we'll make
That's good to hear. That is actually good to hear. Could you break down the community funding process that you went through? How did you, what is required, or what did you do when you first had the idea? Yeah.
it. So Tyke is a good platform. Very frankly, it's new in India. It should
Yes.
be done only once you have any other form of funding. Should not be your first form of funding. Firstly, like the first thing you should not do is crowdfunding, community funding, crowdfunding, whatever you want to call it. uh, we have to just give them few documents, due diligence documents. They make sure that every paperwork we have is correct. We are not some fraudsters, or we just don't have an entity for the sake of it. We do have a product and everything. That validation is done from their end. We then, once all of that is done, then they onboard us as a startup, where we kind of put through the whole documentation that they ask us to. And once that is done, it's live. They have their own network of investors. We can share it, we can share with people, we can do lives about it. We have to decide how we want to take it.
Said that company shouldn't start with community funding. So, what
Mhm.
is the right time for a company to think about community funding?
Only once you've had some because see, you go on community funding, it fails, and that failure will be taken by other
Right.
angel investors, that it won't work. Have some
Right.
angel investors, have some institutional investors, have a product, a basic product, first set of validation, and then go for community funding.
Okay. As you said, that Tyke is a very new platform. It's a new,
Right.
slightly new, different method of conducting community funding. Um, and I saw your pitch, and it was very comprehensive. How is
Mhm.
pitching to a community on a platform where you don't really interact with them personally different from pitching to angel investors and institutional investors?
It's very different. So you have to kind of think of so exactly the same. enough experience is needed in pitching so that you can make sure that that 2 minutes will help them make the decision. So your first video should not be for type.
Okay, got it.
You need to have, I have done more than I'm pretty sure more than 1,000 to 2,000 pitches in the last 1 year. I've done that. I'm pretty, no, 1,000 maybe, 1,000. I think 1,000 might be a little bit, yeah. But yes, there were days where I was doing in one day four pitches.
Oh, wow.
So that's how that number comes into picture. There were like
who all were you pitching to?
Everybody and anybody I could get who could listen to me, because I always felt that if you just listen to me, I think I can convince you for my product. As a customer or as an investor. So I always had that thing in me, and I still have, and that's why I always try to just get a one call with these investors.
Okay.
It took me time to get better at it, obviously, but yeah, and that's how comprehensive, but actually also to the point. So is needed, because I think like for me, it's a very good thing that I've always now I'm reached that point. You just tell me the number of minutes, and I'll like go spontaneously and pitch off for that minutes. I did that in Dubai also. They asked me to do a 1 minute pitch. I was able to do it. They asked me to do a 2 minute pitch, and without preparation, I was able to achieve it.
Amazing.
On time. Like being on time is very important for me.
So you said that it took you some time to get better, and 1,000, revisions and attempts and trials. What are the key factors would you say that someone should keep in mind while pitching, and what are the parameters someone would improve on, like needs the most improvement on usually?
Okay, so this depends. Depends, but also okay, so here what actually happens is that it depends on startup to startup, like I'll say do show them the bigger picture. Do show them that in 1 year, if you're doing only 10 consumers, but you have the potential and the market is big enough that you can even go a lakh. So show them the big picture. Show them the smaller picture, obviously where you are, but the bigger picture is really important. What you're trying to solve, like that, the first 30 seconds, 40 seconds are the most important. Like I, of all the people, have very small attention span, and I know that if in the first 1 or 2 minutes of a meeting, I'll be like, oh, do I want to be in it or not?
Got it. That happens.
That is yeah, so you need to be like, your first few 30 to 45 seconds have to be very catchy, like a story.
And then you get to the numbers and the
numbers details. And everything is at a later stage. But all you want to do is show them the bigger picture. Don't go too much numbers in the early stage for the early stage startups, at least.
Okay, got it. So you use Tyke for crowdfunding. Was the platform able to tell you or shed light on the demography of the contributors? And no. So what do you think? What do you think is the demography of your?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I do have recently received a mailing list of my investors, and now I would want to go and connect with them. So sorry. I had a very busy day. So yeah, I will connect with them and try to get to know them a little better, because there are too many people. So a call would be difficult, I guess.
Definitely, that's there. But do you think it is more of a younger generation, like 20 to 30-year-old people, or what would be your guess?
Maybe 28 to 45 is my guess.
And enthusiasts of healthcare or wearables?
Not really.
No?
I think finance.
Okay, because as you said in the beginning that it was a marketing strategy, because more than
it was a marketing strategy because it's a wearable device. So not healthcare, but wearables. and marketing strategy to get people to invest and know about it. So, these are young chaps, have good enough amount of money. It's a consumer product. So those aspects were important, where to find those kind of people,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you'll find them at a Go gym, you'll find them at Cult Fit, that kind of audience.
So intersection of finance and young generation
Yeah,
and
finance, I
enthusiasts.
think, because people are very proactive when it comes to people in team, chaps in finance, basically. They're proactively looking in different spaces to invest.
Yes, definitely.
So that's what I'm guessing.
Okay, let's see. I would like to hear what if this guess was
What the
right
survey
or
gave
what.
me.
Yes, it would be an interesting, I think, survey. So let's talk a little about Neuphony, since that's the centerpiece of the entire company and this meeting. There are several neuro-focused headsets focusing on meditation, focus, mental well-being. How do you differentiate a product from others?
How I differentiate my product is I'm the only one capturing information from prefrontal and parietal together, which means this combination of data is what my market is looking at, like for my regards, like basically. My sensor location, my signal quality, my software processing, my headband is adjustable for different head sizes. It has a traction mechanism, like a slider basically.
Got
And
it.
then we have an SDK, we have exemplary customer service. We go slow. Our marketing, our customer service, our product, our software processing, all of them are very different. We believe one size does not fit all. We believe the meditation for you to focus and me to focus is different.
Right. So who is the ideal customer for Neuphony?
The ideal customer for Neuphony is anybody who is in a proactive space towards mental health. For example, if a person who's playing chess, people who play Sudoku, people who just are looking for ways to improve themselves, reading different books, going to gym, have a routine, meditate daily. Those are the kind of people that I'm looking at.
Then I'll definitely be buying your headset, because that is literally me.
Literally your definition.
Yes. I saw Sudoku during metros, play chess when I'm bored.
People like you by default get attracted to how I can improve my brain. And when you think about that, that's where Neuphony comes into picture. This is what my ideal customer would be, but I can also help people who are not aware about themselves. But it's just that with them, it's a longer cycle.
Definitely, that is there.
My goal is to help people. My goal is not to help. My goal is not to help. My goal is to help people who are in need of it. I want to eventually lead there, because that's how I can create an impact, because you are already self-aware. So one way or the other, you will find a way to help yourself. I want to help people who don't know, who aren't self-aware. And that's where Neuphony comes into picture.
You, from what I read from your pitch and website, and I've been talking to you, I understand that you're targeting 3 segments: sports, mental well-being, and medical device diagnosis and treatment of mental.
We don't go diagnosis. I'm not a diagnostic product. We want to go down there.
Okay.
But today I don't.
So right now
today I do any place in any. So if I feel, what's the first place that comes to your mind? I'm stressed. What should I do? What will come to your mind?
What if I'm stressed? I'll go out and maybe cool down or stare outside.
So you'll either go for a walk, like
Mm-hmm.
you'll go for a fitness center, you'll go for a meditation center, or let's say if it's common, then you'll start to download apps. I think in that dimension, you'll go to a therapist if it's really nothing is helping you. All those places, Neuphony will be present in a year, hopefully.
Okay. I see most headsets are used by enthusiasts or engineers like us to learn or tinker or build our own solutions, rather than used as a wearable regularly. And as you also mentioned, that is not something that's happening right now. So what
it is in US?
Okay, yeah, it is in US. I'll agree to that, but not not in India
Not
to
in
that
India.
extent. So what do you think can be a way to solve this or get more people to use it?
If everything I have in mind works out and I'm working towards, then hopefully in a year you'll see the change. I can't tell you much here. It's confidential, but we are doing every bit we can to make mental health wearables and tech a household thing.
Then I would like to ask you, what are the untapped opportunities in the neurotech wearable market right now in India that someone should look into in the next 5 to 10 years?
In India, neurotech is untapped. In India, people should. I know there are 3 more startups who are a little junior to us in this space in India, and I feel within 5 years, you should see neurotech as becoming as the smartwatch industry, like Xiaomi, Apple, Google. Everybody has their Michael Kors has their own smartwatch. Like Armani has their own smartwatch. In 5 years, I think that's going to be with brain wearables.
And in the US, what would be the untapped market?
The same. The US is untapped. US is not untapped with regards to neurotech. US is pretty set up now, but it's still on a small scale. So now it's not there's a market which is untapped. It's the scale which needs to grow now.
I see. So currently, what would you say are the current pain points in neurotech wearables that are stopping it from reaching that scale or potential?
A lot.
Could you mention a few?
Investors.
Okay. How so?
How so? Because it's a growing field. Very few people want to invest in something that is not 100% validated. I'm not validated, but like just out there. People now want to invest in fintech and edtech because that's the thing,
Yes.
So
I understand.
neurotech investments, while mental health tech investments have increased twice in the past 1 year, which is pretty good, but that is still one of the concerns. Second would be collaboration. A lot of companies are not doing collaboration, which we are strongly working towards, because the growth and the innovation is limited. Like I am very good at hardware. I am looking for software companies to partner with. Some companies have good softwares, but they have bad hardwares. And only if we could partner together, we could come up with exemplary, let's say, coexisting products, co-marketed products. And that's, I think, the right way to go right now, because I don't know one startup I would say they have all the expertise, like Apple has a good hardware and a good software, but there's no neurotech company who is right now at that stage.
Okay. So another thing that I really like about you or Pankhtech is the initiative to set up neurocognitive labs in institutes and wellness centers. So what is the motivation behind it, and what is the vision for it going on?
The motivation and the will is basically the same thing. Do you have a neurofeedback product?
No.
And how passionate you are?
Very. It's just hard to access and afford.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Now imagine you know it, but still it's difficult to access. Now there are people who are in need of getting their cognitive skills analyzed. People need to know that my stress is coming from inside, and not like I'm creating stress, but the fact that there is stress and I have to acknowledge it. So this is our way of help people validate it, understand, and actually see what's the difference.
Okay. The focus on strength just makes me think of the other devices that exist for stress monitoring, other hardware devices or wearables. But I don't see them, and they have been there for quite some time, but I don't see them picking up. So what do you think how do you think a neurotech wearable will be different from that in the sense that catch ups with the consumers. And what went wrong with them that they didn't catch up, because they were also small. They were, hidden on the waist or the arm or the neck or
I, I
places.
feel the same. See, many of the things you've already said it. Agile approach. They didn't
Mhm.
change their strategy when they see that they weren't working, first. Second, they didn't collaborate. If they knew their hardware or software was bad, they could have reached out. They could have connected. Um, Third would be, maybe it could be bad business decisions, very frankly, because if I know I'm engineer and I can do everything, hardware, software, neuroscience, then it's bad on my part. We have the right people, we have the right mentors, advisors, and employees to be able to do that. We have a perfect good team who has the capabilities to bring that out. It is difficult, it is growing, but it is challenging because it's not like a mobile phone anyone and anyone can build. It's not a DIY. It's challenging. There is hardware, there's mechanics, there's electronics, then there's firmware, then there is software development, then there is neuroscience. There are a lot of different verticals in the tech aspect of it which can go wrong, and then add the business aspect to it. Wrong marketing, wrong market, wrong GTM, go to market strategy, anything and anything, everything would go wrong together.
I see. Yes, I do see your point, but sometimes, since I have also been looking into stress, but not from an headwear perspective or EEG data. I was talking to someone, and someone said that he was a designer, and he said that people are ashamed to say that they are monitoring their stress or trying to work it out, and it surprised me a little because he has been in the industry for quite some time doing this. So yeah, do you think that's the case? I would
That is
like to hear from
definitely
you.
there. So people are like, so a lot of people come and say that why don't you make your product more sleek, more appealing? Remove few sensors now, it doesn't matter at all. And then I'm like,
Oh my god.
no, 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 no. That's the whole point. That's my USP. That I have more sensors at a consumer grade level, but with a research grade quality. That is my USP. I can't
Yes.
remove it because it should be good looking. So yeah, that is one of the concerns. People are like, can you hide it on the side a headphone? I'm like, no, I can't hide it, because headphones, everybody wants their own kind of headphones. Somebody wants Bose, somebody wants Sony,
Yes.
somebody wants in-ear, over-the-ear. I can't incorporate that, and that's not my thing. It's not ki, you want a headphone and you also get a mental health wearable and nobody will ever know. That's not the thing. That's not how it's supposed to be done.
That's true. The biggest challenge for a founder is hiring, and you said that it's hiring the right talent. And you said what is the approach for executive level roles. But what do you look for a, candidate or applicant who is just starting off or at applying for the other roles as a beginner
We
or
have two
maybe
open
a mid-level
positions. We have two
employee?
open positions. What I want is a person should understand what he's applying for. They should not be in the exploring domain. यार मैं hardware भी कर सकता हूँ पर मैं software भी कर लूंगा पर मुझे ये पसंद नहीं है. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for somebody who knows what they want and is passionate towards one thing. They might not have the right certifications or experience. That's correct. You might have done just one project. One project is all you would have to do, and you should be thorough at it. You should know everything that you're doing. If you're doing a layout design, why did you choose a particular metal layer? What was the width? What was the routing? Why? Which IC did you use? All of that is important. If you're into the software, which libraries did you use? Which language? What was the algorithm? What was the reason behind it? You should be thorough with regards to what you've done and what you've chosen. That's all we look for, and you should be ready to spend that time. You should not be there, I'm beginners, yeah, 9 to 5 job, good salary, I'm good to go. No.
I see your point. Yes. So I would also take this opportunity for you to say which two roles you're looking for, so that maybe when people are looking at the interview,
We are
they
hiring
apply.
for
Hopefully.
we have two positions: embedded developers and a full stack software developer. So even if you're not full stack, if you're a software developer, you're good at it, or an embedded engineer, just send me your email. CVs, there are 2 open positions on the LinkedIn. Just go there and apply. We'll shortlist, and hopefully within a week, we'll either go with you or just let you know.
Awesome. I think it's a good thing that people are trying to let the applicants know these days, because that's also a very big problem. You just
Definitely.
hang in there and you don't know what's happening. That's a
Exactly.
problem with the LinkedIn
Just apply. You
applications.
never
You don't
know.
even know what's happening sometimes, or if it's even reaching the right place, or
No,
the
it
right
is. It
eyes.
is within a week.
Amazing. So within a week. Um, and this question is from everyone, and we all make mistakes. What are the mistakes that you made as a beginner in the field that hopefully the audience
Oh
can
God.
now listen to and avoid? And I hope that to
Ah,
make us feel better, there's a long list that we can learn
there is a
from.
long list. There is a long list. Okay. So, oh God. So many mistakes. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know where to start from. Today only I was talking to somebody and sharing these mistakes, and I was like, just how naive we were when we started working, oh, I think like in the first year of coming out with the product and technology, we started doing marketing and business collaborations, and that wasn't the best way, because you need to kind of first have your product in MVP level. You do need to do a lot of surveys, correct, but don't make people hold for long.
Mhm.
So and don't spend a lot. Don't think big that, oh, I'm gonna go do a startup, I want to do marketing, business development and all. So don't go in that path. Like, don't spend too much. Hire the right people. Don't be desperate to hire people. Take your own peaceful time. Things will fall into the right place. I thought in first year, okay, 1 year mein to I'll be super successful, as a startup. I thought, oh my God, this is the thing. This is the product. The world needs this. Everybody wants to buy this. This has to be the thing. No, it takes time. It takes time to, nothing happens overnight. You don't become super famous overnight. You don't become a unicorn overnight. It takes years. It's just that you got to know, like I got to know Zomato few years back, and now it's a, you know it
Mhm.
has it has
Yes,
its
yes.
IPO. No, there were a lot of years before even I got to know about them that they were struggling. It took
Mhm.
time to reach here. Zomato, Ola, anybody. So trust, be dedicated, don't be too don't look at the bigger picture too much. Be grounded. Don't let things go to your head. Don't pay for PR articles. Don't pay for marketing initially until unless you have early consumers and early adopters.
Mhm.
Like, one thing I'm proud of is that we have zero CAC, cost for customer acquisition, until today, because it's all organic. Imagine spending thousands and thousands at an early stage and getting nothing.
Yes, that is something that a few people that I know made a mistake at,
Don't do that.
and they. Mhm.
Wait, get feedback, create fans. Don't go for volumes, go for quality.
Definitely.
A lot
And
of
what
mistakes. Yeah.
and what would be some variable or neurotech focused suggestion or
See, very frankly, I don't
mistakes?
believe in this. Everybody will do their own mistake. I don't like to give my advice even to my brother, because he's gonna do his own set of mistakes. Everybody has their own journey to carve out, and my mistakes will not help them. Maybe my mistakes are their path.
Yep, you can say that.
So
Hmm.
it could be.
Makes sense.
It could be. If they are going into the medical domain, maybe they would need that. Maybe if they're creating a low cost product, they would need that. I don't know. So everybody, just believe your inner instinct. Know that you're doing it right. And if anybody ever, even if you fail, it's okay. You should know that you were doing it in the right intention, not with a wrong fraud intention with regards to compromising in the quality or something.
Right. Mhm. On that note, what would be something that maybe was not covered in throughout the talk that you would
We
want to
covered
share about?
everything.
Any life
I
last piece of wisdom or advice or anything that people should know or laugh at or laugh with you?
Laugh. I don't think so. I'm the laugh comic one in the company, but one thing people should know. One thing we can share is that Neuphony actually got selected in February at the top as from Inc. 42 as the top 30 startups, which is not yet out there. We also got Indian Achievers Award from the government of India for tech. And yeah, these would be two things that I can share on this particular platform, which are not out there yet.
Congratulations. I think I have congratulated you 5 to 6 times throughout the call for everything that's happened between 2 to 3 months. I think that's another congratulations on the way.
Thank you so much.
I think you guys have achieved a lot in a very short period of time.
Since we've talked.
Yes,
Yeah.
since
not very short period of time again. It's been 2.5 years of effort, and now things are becoming fruitful. So since 2018 December.
Right, true. I agree with you, but 2.5 years is also an excellent achievement.
Yes, definitely.
So congratulations once again.
Thank you.